it's Jessie here. Welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new here. Today's video is going to be something a little bit different. I am going to be filling out my sinking funds tracker with you guys. We're going to talk about the starting balances for February. Today is actually February 8th. I typically sit down on the very first day of the month and write in my starting balances before I add anything for my February budget. But for whatever reason, it just slipped my mind to do that. And so I'm a little bit late. I've already added some money to some of these funds for February. So for some of these funds, I'm gonna have to do some like backwards math and figure out my starting balance. But the purpose of this is to go in and figure out exactly what is in my sinking funds. So I'm going to go into my accordion folder where I keep all of my sinking funds, and we're going to count up the money in here, make sure that all of my numbers match. I have an index card with each of my sinking funds where I keep track of the money that goes in as well as the money that comes out. So I'm going to count it all up, make sure that the numbers on the card match the actual cash, and then we're going to write in our starting balances for February, and that way I can keep track of how much went in during February and how much comes out to get an ending balance, so that I can make sure then that at the start of March, my numbers match again. It's just a really simple way to keep track of everything and have it written down, so that if I want to spend money from one of my funds, say I want to complete some home projects, I don't have to go into my safe and pull out my accordion folder and pull out the money and count it to see how much I have. I can just flip to this page in my planner. This is the Erin Condren monthly planner, by the way, and figure out exactly what I have in here to work with. So that's what we're going to do today. I have my cat sitting right off camera, so you guys may see a paw or a tail kind of flip into frame here and there. It's where he wants to sit this morning, so be wary of that, and we're just going to go ahead and get started with my first sinking fund, which is Amazon Prime. By the way, I set this page up on camera in my February setup video. You can see me put down the stickers for all of my pages here in my monthly planner, as well as you can see me set up my Franken planner with my budgeting pages and that sort of thing. So if you missed that video, I'm going to post it up here in a little card. Now we can get started. So I'm going to go into my accordion folder. In this folder, I have all of my sinking funds, and I do keep my sinking funds in cash. So each of my funds has its own tab, and behind that tab, I have my sinking fund. So we're starting out with Amazon Prime. Now, according to my little card here, we have $129, but you can see that I put 25 of those dollars in here in February. So what I actually want is the balance before I add anything in February. So I know this is a little backwards because I should have done this before I stuffed my sinking funds last week. Like I said, it just slipped my mind. So at the end of January, according to this card, we had 104. So that's what I'm going to put as my start balance here, is 104. And then at the end of the month, when I tally up how much I added in to the fund, I will include that $25 here as part of the addition totals. For now, though, we're going to go ahead and count this up and make sure I do have this 129 in here, just so that we can make sure that I have what I'm supposed to have. So we have 50, 70, 90, 110, 115, 120, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29. So my starting balance is 104 plus 25. I'm not going to write in the $25 here under this plus section because this is going to be for the entire month, and I may put more in here throughout February. So for now, we're just going to leave that as is. 129. I'm going to put this back then in my accordion folder, and we will move on to Anniversaries next. Let's do this so you guys can kind of see what's going on here. Alright, so next I have Anniversary. And my Anniversary fund, according to my card here, should have $35 in it. So that should be the start amount. I'll go ahead and write that in. And we'll go ahead and count this up and make sure that's what I have. So we have 20, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35. Okay, and the purpose of this exercise of counting it all out and making sure it's all accurate is just because a lot of times I will pull money out of here in a hurry and forget to update my card, or, you know, sometimes I'll count things wrong. And I just always want to make sure that the number on the page reflects what I actually have. So next we have birthdays, and this birthdays fund should be empty, and it looks like it is. So you can see that on the very last day of January, I pulled out the $100 that we had in here. So right now, at the start of February, it has $0 in it. And the other purpose of this exercise is to see, you know, what funds are doing well. You know, this Amazon Prime fund is going to be used here soon to renew our Prime membership. So this way I know I'm on track to complete that. And then I can also see which funds maybe need a little bit more love. I have quite a few funds right now that are empty. So that's something to keep in mind as well. So now we are to Campground. My Campground fund, according to my card here, should have $320 in it. This has not been updated yet for February, so that's good. I don't need to do any backwards math. Just count it up and see what I have. So we have 50, 100, 50, 200, 50, 300, 310, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So I have not added any money to this since the 26th of January, so that's something I need to keep in mind. I need to be adding more money to this campground fund. This campground fund is a collection of money throughout the year so that come October we can pay the annual fee on our campground, which is around $1,400. So need to amp this up a little bit, I think. So starting balance for this is $320. I'm going to go ahead and get this put back, and we'll move on to the Campground Electric. So my Campground Electric, I don't have an envelope for. This is one of the ones that I need to make an envelope for. So I'm actually going to put a little asterisk next to this fund so that I can figure out at the end how many cash envelopes I still need to make. I have been making my cash envelopes myself, just using my laminator, my label maker. So this is one that still needs a envelope. So according to my card here, this has $45, and that is indeed what I have here, $20.45. I haven't added anything for February, so that is a true starting balance, and I'm just going to go ahead and write that in there. Next, I have car maintenance. And according to my card here, it should have $232. So 50, 100, 20, 40, 60, 80, 200, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32. Did I say 232? Yes, okay, that's right. So this is definitely something that I want to start adding money to more consistently. $232 is fine for like an oil change or some windshield wipers, but if I have anything catastrophic happened to my vehicle, I'm definitely going to need more than $232. So this is something now that I know I need to be focusing on moving forward. Okay, so next I have my car tabs, and this currently is empty. I have not added anything to this. We just renewed our car tabs in January, so I won't need to do that again until January of 2022. So I don't really need to be focusing on this one right now, but it is something to keep in mind that it is empty. And I also do not have an envelope for this one, so I went ahead and put an asterisk. All right, next up we have Christmas. And our Christmas fund, according to my card here, should have $80 in it. 20, 40, 60, 70, 75, 80. So it's my goal to have about $1,200 by Christmas 2021. And so I only have $80 in here. I need to be thinking about adding more money to this fund as well. I actually want to do some math and figure out how much I would need to put in each week to get there. But in order to do that, I need to find my phone, and I'm not sure what I did with it. So give me just a minute to find my phone so I can do some calculating. All right, so I have my calculator here. And I know that I want $1,200 by, we'll say December 1st. And I already have 80 in here. So 1120 is what I need. And I have, let's see, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November. 10 months to get there. So that means I need to put in $112 every month between now and December in order to have that $1,200 that I need. So I need to keep that in mind. So for now, we're just going to go ahead and update this. It does indeed have $80. We're starting with 80 at the start of February. And I will just be keeping that in mind, how much I need to be adding to this fund every month in order to make our goal. All right. Next up is clothing. Clothing is another one that I don't have an envelope for, and it's also starting out with 0, so that's something I'll keep in mind throughout February. Gasoline is next, and we should have $165 in gasoline. I put that in here quite a while ago and have not needed to touch it, so I do have $165. Let's just count and make sure. 20, 40, 60, 80, 100. 20, 40, 50, 55, 60, 65. So if you guys have been watching my channel for a while, you would know that what I was doing was adding money to my gas cash envelope in my wallet every week. And then at the end of the week, if I had anything left, I was sticking it into this sinking fund. I kind of capped myself off at this $165 because I felt like that was enough to have in backup, considering I was adding money to my cash envelope every week. And so I got it to $165, and it's just kind of been sitting there. So I need to be thinking about whether I want to add any more to this sinking fund, or if this is fine, or what I want to do. I'll just be keeping that in mind. All right, next up is haircuts. We drained our haircut fund in December, and we haven't added anything to it in January, so it's still at 0. And this is another one of those that I need to make a cash envelope for. So as you can see, a lot of these are empty right now since it's the start of the year. I've been focusing in the last month or so on just kind of the sinking funds that I'm going to need money in during like this first quarter of the year, but definitely want to add more money to some of these that have 0 in February. So you will likely see me adding money to these funds with 0 balances throughout the month. All right, holidays, also empty, also need a cash envelope for. We do have Easter coming up here pretty quickly, so definitely going to ramp up my savings for holidays in February as well. Home maintenance is currently sitting at 0, but see, you can see this is one of these that I was not great about updating my card. I took the $200 that we had in here out, but I never updated the card. So I'm going to do that quickly here. As of today, we have a 0 balance. And that's something that I need to make a card for as well. So I decided it would be fun to film this. I don't know how helpful this is to you, if you guys are enjoying this, or if this just seems like redundant content here. Anytime that I am counting money, I like to film it because I know that I love watching videos where money is getting counted and we're updating charts and things. But if this is something that you guys are not interested in seeing again in the future, let me know. Or if you really enjoy this video, you like seeing what I have in my funds and how I come up with what I'm adding money to for my sinking funds throughout the month, let me know and I can do this again next month. So my home insurance envelope has $600 in it according to my card here. But again, I added 75 of those dollars in February. So the starting balance as of February 1st should have been $525. So that's what we are going to include in this start balance. Also need to put an asterisk on this because I still need to make a cash envelope for this. You guys can see I created a bunch of cash envelopes, but I didn't really count out my funds and figure out exactly how many I needed. I just created a bunch, and I'm still short quite a few. So my starting balance for this is $525, but it should have a full $600 in there as of now, so that's the number we're looking for when we're counting this up. 100, 50, 200, 50, 300, 50, 400, 50, 70, 90, 510, 530, 550, 570, 590, 95, 600. Perfect. So we'll put that back behind home insurance and we'll move on to hunting. So hunting, we drained at the end of hunting season because we had money left over. Rather than just keep it in an envelope until October when we need it again, we went ahead and took that extra money out, used it for something else, and that's totally fine. I know that this has a 0 balance on it. I know that I need to make a cash envelope for this one. This is not something that I will focus on in February because, again, hunting season is not until October, so we have plenty of time. And this is a fund that doesn't require a ton of money. You heard me talk when I was talking about my campground and my Christmas about making sure that I'm funding those in February. But that's because those are balances, or those are funds that require a large amount of money. And so I put small amounts of money throughout the year into those. This fund, we only are looking for around $350. So I don't need to start funding it quite as early. I could start funding it now and put like $5 a week in if I wanted to do that, but it's not a priority right now. I don't like to add money to all of my sinking funds every week. I like to just pick and choose the ones that, you know, are most important, most pressing, that sort of thing. So we're not going to worry about hunting likely in February, but it's good to know that there's nothing in there, and that's something I need to focus on. Pets is another one that is empty, and it's also another one where I have not updated the card. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now. As of February 8th, we have no money in there. Is today the 8th or is it the 6th? Oh, it is the 8th. Okay, good. So I need to make a cash envelope for this, so I'm going to leave myself a note for that. And I know that it has a starting balance of 0. This is something that I want to focus on in February because you never know when we're going to need to take the kitties to the vet. This pet sinking fund is not things like pet food or cat litter, that sort of thing. That comes out of our grocery budget. This is more for vet visits, that sort of thing, and we definitely need to have some money in there. So that's something that I will focus on in February for sure. All right, next I have my P.O. box, which is also empty. My P.O. box is up for renewal in April, I believe, and it cost me somewhere in the neighborhood of $50. So I still have some time with this one, and I don't need to add a ton of money, so it's likely not something I'll focus on in February, but I do need to make sure to make a cash envelope for that one as well. Okay, next up we have property tax. And according to my card here, I should have $24 in my property tax envelope, which I actually don't have an envelope, so that's another one I need to make an envelope for. Starting balance is $24. We just paid our property taxes in December, so we won't need to do that again until summer. And we have a very low property tax bill, so we don't need a lot of money in here, but something for me to keep in mind. So we're just going to count this up: 10, 20, 21, 22, 23, and $24. And that takes care of that. So next I have savings. Savings I have lumped all together in just one category here. This one might get complicated because I have multiple savings envelopes under the savings heading just to save lines here on my layout. Plus, I have definitely added money to my 52 weeks and my Savopoly in February. So right now my Nintendo Switch envelope is empty. I don't have anything in there. I haven't started saving for my Nintendo Switch yet. But it's definitely something that I'm going to want to do. I really want a Nintendo Switch, so I decided that was something I would start saving for, but I haven't gotten around to it yet. It's not a priority, but it's something for me to keep in mind in February. So there's nothing in there. Savopoly has, let's see, $85 in it, but my starting balance for Savopoly in January was $68. I've added money to this since February 1st, so I need to keep that in mind. So my starting balance for Savopoly is $68. I'm actually just going to enter that into my calculator to remember that, because I'm going to add what I had at the start of February for Savopoly and my 52-week savings challenge, and that will be my starting balance for savings for February. Hopefully this all makes sense. I don't know if I'm making any sense at all. So the starting balance is $68, but the total is $85. So that's the number I'm looking for when I'm counting this. So we have 20, 40, 50, 60, 65, 70, 71, 72, 73, 74, 75, 76, 77, 78, 79, 80, 81, 82, 83, 84, 85. So that's accurate. The card's up to date. Everything's looking good there. And then for my 52-week savings, before I added money in February, I had $59. So I'm going to add that to the starting balance of Savopoly. So 68 plus that 59 is 127 for our start balance for all of our savings envelopes. And then I'm going to count this up and make sure that I have the full 119, which is what I should have for this envelope. And I'm sure I do, because I just added this on the 2nd and I would have counted it then, but just for the sake of continuity, we'll go ahead and count it again. So we have 50, 70, 80, 90, 100, 5, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. All right. So that takes care of all of my cash behind the savings tab. All of those envelopes will go back there, and next we'll move on to school expenses. School expenses is another one that I need to make a cash envelope for, so I'm gonna have to make quite a few cash envelopes. And school expenses right now has $0. So this is back to school shopping. This also is any sort of other expenses, any, you know, club dues that we have to pay, school pictures, that sort of thing. This has nothing in it, but it needs to have something in it because we're going to have end of the year activities coming up, provided that that's not all canceled due to coronavirus. So I definitely want to focus on adding something to this in February, but the bulk of the savings for our school expenses will happen during the summertime. We will add money throughout spring and summer, essentially, so that come September we can do back to school shopping for my youngest son. Okay, next up I have the boys. So for the boys, I'm actually not going to count this up. There's constantly money going in and out of this, and it's not really my money. It's definitely my boys' money. It's their savings. Honestly, I don't even know why I have it included here under my sinking funds, because that's not something that I keep track of in my records. They keep track of this with their cards and with their own situations. I just hold on to it in our safe so that it doesn't get lost or stolen. So we're not going to update the boys. Moving on though to vacation. Vacation's empty. It's definitely not something that we have been focusing on because we're not traveling, we're not doing anything like that with everything going on in the world. So it is something that I want to consider, but we likely will not add anything to vacation in February either. We'll see. You never know. If we have an extraordinarily large paycheck or something, we might add a little bit to this vacation, but it's definitely not on our radar. Typically our vacation money just gets spent like with camping trips at our camper. Anyway, we don't really take big vacations. Come summertime, when we are able to go to our camper on weekends, we will likely add a little bit of money to this, but it's not a large sum. It's not something I need to focus on right this moment. So that's vacation. And lastly, I have YouTube, and this is where we've had some major changes in February. So at the start of February, I would have had $874 in here. This YouTube money is money for my taxes because I get paid through AdSense for the ads that run in the front of my videos and in the middle of my videos. I do make a small income from YouTube, but they don't collect taxes, so I need to withhold my own. So what I do is I keep 30% of that income in an envelope, and that way when I file my taxes, I have that money should I need it to pay in. We actually just filed our taxes yesterday and discovered that because of my husband's withholdings and because of, you know, tax credits and things, I didn't actually need to pay anything in physically out of my pocket. It just came off what our refund would have been, essentially. So I had a full $735 that I had saved throughout 2020 as my kind of taxes that I did not need to pay to the IRS. So instead I took that $735 and I just deposited it into my bank. I'm going to make an extra debt payment with it. And I actually bought some groceries with some of it as well. But this now only has the $139 in it that I added when I got paid in January. Sorry, you guys, I've confused myself. Anyways, the short story that I just made very, very long is that at the start of February, I had $874. So that's my starting balance. I did take out $735, so that will be entered in under this minus category at the end of the month. So I should only have 139 in here right now, but my starting balance was 874. And I do need to make an envelope for this one. Oh my gosh, that was really long and confusing and long-winded. I apologize. Fact of the matter is, it has 139 in there now. That's the number that I need to make sure I have here when I'm doing my counting. So 100, 20, 30, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39. So this is 30% of the income I have received so far in 2021. I will continue to collect 30% of my income throughout 2021 so that when we file our taxes, if I need it, I have it. And if not, then I will put that whole lump sum into the bank just as I did this year. Yeah, that was really long-winded. My apologies. Okay, so that's all of my sinking funds. Those are all of my starting balances. I definitely have quite a few empty funds that I want to focus on in February, so I will keep that in mind. I know that I need to make 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So I still need to make 14 cash envelopes. Whew, that'll be a lengthy process, but that's definitely something that I've enjoyed, having everything in its own envelope, in its own tab. It's worked out well, so that's something I'm going to focus on in February. And I hope that you got something out of this video. Like I said, anytime I'm counting cash, I like to film it because those are the types of videos I love to watch. I love cash envelope stuffing. I love counting videos, so I thought some of you might enjoy that as well as kind of hearing my thought process on which funds I'm going to focus on in February. Like I said, if this is not something you would like to see again in the future, I don't blame you. Just let me know. I'm always trying to come up with new videos to share with you guys, and I just thought it might be interesting to some of you. So that is it for today's video. Oh, you know what? I need to add up all of these totals. I almost forgot that. So let's do that really quickly, and then we will end this video. 104 plus 35 plus 320 plus 45 plus 232 plus 80 plus 165 plus 525 plus 24, nope, 24 plus 127 plus 874. So at the start of February, before I added anything or took anything away, I had $2,531 in my sinking funds. Not too shabby. Actually, it's a little bit more than that with my boys' money, but again, I don't really need to keep track of that because that's their jam. Okay, now I can say goodbye. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure that you subscribe so that you never miss a video. I post new budgeting and lifestyle content here on my channel every single week. I would love to have you come back, and I'll see you guys then. Bye, friends.